So much of our planet is spectacular, and I feel extremely fortunate to be back to one of my favorite places on the north coast of Ireland. If it looks like I'm on a sort of bridge, that's because I'm walking on the Giant's Causeway. Legend would have it that this was a bridge across between Ireland and Scotland. Finn McCool, the great Irish giant, either defeated the Scottish giant or thought the Scottish giant was so large that he came back. Finn McCool came back over here, dressed himself up like a baby, or had his wife do so, and when the Scottish giant came across, he thought, if that's the baby, I don't want to fight the father. Beautiful story, but in all likelihood I'm standing on basalt columns of a lava flow 50 or 60 million years ago that creates a hard base for the north part of the island of Ireland. And of course this is all part of the tectonics defined by the mid-Atlantic rift, of course. And if you go up to Iceland, which is a long ways northwest from here, you can see where the world is still splitting apart. Hundreds of people out here today, but well worth it. Look at this incredible coastline, these north cliffs here. These are the famous basalt columns. This is any time I come to Ireland, I try and make the trek up here. I have a tour group with me, and what a day for them. It was hot and sunny in Belfast yesterday. It takes about an hour and a quarter to drive from Belfast up through the middle of Ulster, in the middle of the province here, to come up to Bushmills, the oldest whiskey distillery in the world. And then up here to the Giant's Causeway. There is a visitor center. I just bypassed that today and wandered straight down here. There's a little bus that runs people up and down for £1, but have a look at these cliffs. There's about a 5-mile walk along the coast, although you can actually walk the entire north coast of Ulster. Once I go back to the coach, we will drive up the coast, stop in a beautiful town, Ballycastle, for some lunch up there. Now that sea fog was right inland this morning, and it's pushed its way out. So tomorrow we will be driving back across Ulster and going to the city of Derry. And Derry is really just 20 miles or so up the coast, maybe 25 up the coast from here. And then of course north of Derry is Donegal, the largest county in Ulster, in the province of Ulster. But this coastline is just so magnificent. It's just such a treat to see it. I would love to give a live virtual tour here, but the reception is just far too spotty. So that's why I thought I'd make a fun little YouTube video. What a fabulous view. Look at the light. This actually feels very much like the other islands to the north of Scotland and the Faroes and up to Iceland. The light and this bit of fog is just dancing around the cliffs. I was hearing birds chirping as I wandered down. Of course, you have to watch your step everywhere you walk around here. So often it's much more stormy than this. This is about as calm as it gets, and still there's a fair bit of movement out in the water here. Good healthy water, lots of life in here. You can really understand why people lived for so many thousands of years successfully in Ireland, because there's a very tight bandwidth of temperatures on this island, which means the soil is extremely healthy and it grows year round, and so it's wonderful for raising sheep and cattle and whatever one would live off of. And then of course you have the ocean for fishing out here. So it is a magical place to come to. And there we are looking up. Well, if we looked out to the northeast, we look out towards Scotland. If this fog burns off later on my drive today, we might actually see the Scottish coast, which is awfully fun. The ferry from Belfast over to Scotland is about 2 hours. But this time I'm just enjoying magical Ulster. Watching everyone just wandering around on the rocks and enjoying this spectacular environment. So as I'm always, well, it's been 3.5 years since I was back up here, but it's a chance just to say, as always, peace and love from beautiful Giant's Causeway, north of Ireland. And if you would be so kind as to subscribe to this channel, I'm trying to get up to 1,000 followers, just as sort of a life goal. Thank you for joining us here, and perhaps next time I put on a live tour in Ireland, you may want to contact me through Toomey Tours and think about coming for a trip around the Emerald Isle. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Peace from Ireland.